Hello and welcome to Leveling Up in 2022 and Finding the Time to Do It. With me, your trainer for this session, Abigail Barnes. I am so excited that we are going to get to hang out for the next 20 to 30 minutes talking all about this subject. Now, this is something that you can do whatever time of the year you are coming to this training. I would encourage you to dedicate your time to this training. So turn off your notifications, get a notepad, get a pen, get a cup of tea or coffee or a glass of water, and give yourself the gift of this time, because we are going to be talking about three things. So the first one we're going to talk about is leveling up, what that is and how to do it. Second, we're going to be talking about finding your time to be able to do this. And then third, we're going to be talking about making a plan, because nothing in our life changes unless we actually do something with the knowledge, with the information, with the training that we are getting day in, day out from all of our life experience. So who am I to be talking about this subject today? Well, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Abigail Barnes. I am the founder of Success by Design Training. I am an award-winning entrepreneur, a productivity strategist, an international speaker, and an author. I work with individuals and organizations that want to improve their productivity and to include their well-being in this whole conversation, because we are whole, holistic beings. It's called well-being for a reason. But today we're talking all about leveling up and finding the time to do it. Not productive well-being. That is another training, another conversation for another day. So perhaps we have hung out before at one of these events. You've seen me speak. These are also organizations that I work with and have worked with, and as I said, events that I have spoken at and continue to speak at as well. So I'm so excited. If this is our first time hanging out, let me tell you a little bit more about me and then why I do the work that I do. So for over 10 years, I worked in investment management, asset management, and hedge funds in a marketing role. I have a marketing degree and a marketing postgrad, and I absolutely love marketing. I love understanding why people do what they do. I love understanding why people say one thing and do another thing. Human motivation is a passion of mine. And then how to speak to people, which is known as marketing. And I absolutely loved what I did, but I just didn't feel like this was what I was meant to do. It was like there was a hole in my soul. And I used to, go to parties, buy Prada, drink Prosecco, do all of the things to find what it was. And perhaps you will resonate with this if you're one of these people who is struggling to work out what your life purpose is, why you're here, and whether what you're doing now is really what you're meant to be doing. And that was me for so many years. And then one day my boss came to my desk and said, "You're going on a work business trip." And I just thought, that's it. Now that I'm going to start traveling for work, people are going to take me seriously and everything in life is going to change. Fast forward 24 hours after I arrived in Boston, in America, on this work business trip, I found myself in hospital being woken up by a doctor and told that at the age of 32, I'd had a stroke. This happened in February 2012. So it's 10 years now that this happened. I'm recording this in 2022. If you're listening in the future, you can do the maths and work out how many years. But in those moments when I thought that I was going to die, when I thought that this was the end of my life, I realized that I had never truly lived, that I had never made the most of the time that I had just been wasting it, chasing the things, doing the things, having the things, being in the places, having the things on my arm, whatever it was, it just wasn't what I felt that I was here to do. But I didn't know any other way. I really, truly believed that what I did was who I am. And perhaps after the whole pandemic, you are waking up to a new reality. You are seeing that you are so much more than what you do. Perhaps you're feeling like there is more that you want from your life. And maybe the people around you don't really get it. Many people that I spoke to after I'd had this life-changing wake-up call and decided I was going to start my own business thought I was crazy. And perhaps I was crazy, and perhaps we have to be crazy, but perhaps crazy is just other people's opinion of living. And so during our time together, we're really going to be talking about who you need to become in order to create the life you want to be living, something that we call up-leveling. So as I said, in those moments when I realized that I had just been wasting my time, that I had been squandering my 24 hours every single day, putting things off till tomorrow, putting things off until I had a qualification, until I was older, until I was in, XYZ house, all of the different things, the measurements that we use in order to qualify our worthiness to have what we can already have. And the message that I got from all of this and through all of this, and it is coming through me stronger and stronger and stronger, day by day, by day, by day, by day, and I want to share it with you too, is it's your time. It's your time to do whatever it is that you want to do, whatever you feel called to do. It's your time, the clock that's ticking all day long. This is your time. You are trading it for things. Are you happy with what you are trading it for? Because that is creating the life that you actually have. And I appreciate this is a very privileged conversation to be having, because in order to be able to think like this, to act like this, we have to be in a position to take some action. But by the end of this session, you will understand that it doesn't have to be huge action. It doesn't have to cost a fortune, but a step, a decision will change your life. It will change your reality, and it will get you closer to what it is that you want. So we're here to talk about leveling up in 2022. And I want to talk you through this model. You, we are creating our lives 24 hours a day. We all have the same 24 hours, but we don't all have the same beliefs about that time. And it's our beliefs that lead to the actions that we take, which lead to the results that we get. And these are habits. So a belief is what you believe is true for you, is what you believe is possible for you. And action is what you do on the back of that belief. So if you don't believe it's possible for things to be different for you, you will take actions which get you the results that prove that it's not possible for you, aka your life. And these are all unconscious behaviors. They are all unconscious patterns that we repeat over and over and over again. And we learn these from others. We learn them from our parents. We learn them from our caregivers. We learn them from our extended family. We learn them from our friends, from their friends, from our teachers, from society, from our culture, from religion. Imagine it's like one giant melting pot of data. And from that data is created code. And from that code creates a picture. So if the code has got a virus in it, because it's old code, because things have changed, because evolution has happened, because we know different things than we did before, then we are going to keep repeating the same things over and over again and getting the same results over and over again, aka the life we have. And if we're happy with that life, that is amazing. And if there's only small changes we want to make, that's amazing. And if there's larger changes we want to make, that's amazing. It's the same process. It's the same steps. It's the same approach. And when you get that there's no right or wrong with this, that there is nothing wrong with you, that nothing needs fixing because nothing is broken. Everything is perfect as it is right now. But when we know better, we can do better. When we know different, we can do different. And when we do different things, we will get different results. So how are you spending your time right now? Are you distracted or are you disciplined? Are you a consumer watching everybody else, or are you the creator of your life? Are you juggling everything, or do you feel justified with the way your life is right now? Are you pessimistic about things? Are you optimistic about things? And are you busy or are you the boss? Because we are all the boss of our own lives. We are all the boss of our own time. It's ours. So let's talk about finding time. Finding your time. Where is it? As I said, we all get the same 24 hours, but we don't all have the same beliefs. And it's the beliefs that are driving the car, the vehicle. Let's imagine that we are going on a journey from A to B in a vehicle. It's our vehicle. Now we can drive, or we can let our beliefs drive, and we can sit in the passenger seat. But it's your life. It's your time. Sit in the driver's seat of your own life. How can you sit in the driver's seat of your own life is the conversation that we are having today. What needs to happen? What needs to change? What action do you need to take with the information that you have? So as I said at the start, I'm an author. I'm a 2-time author. This is the revised and updated version of my first book. This book is called Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals. This is an 88-page book walking you through these 5 steps to turning your time into productivity. Perhaps you have a copy. Perhaps you want to get a copy. Perhaps after this session, you'll want to invest in a copy. All the links are below. You can do that. So in this book, it's 5 steps. Step number 1, audit your time. If you want to know what is going on in your life right now, where your time is being invested and or not, where it's being spent, auditing your time will give you an immediate answer. Step number 2, analysing those results. So where is all this time going? And what does that mean? Step number 3 is accepting those results. This is where I am. This is the foundation that I am going to build on. because then step number 4 is about making an agreement with yourself and agreeing you are going to do things differently. And step number 5 is where you start doing things differently, where you start taking action. So with step number 1, it's all explained in the book. But what you're doing is you're tracking your time for 7 days. So whether you have a copy and you read how to track your time, and or you just use this right now as your guide and you start tracking your time from the moment you wake up in the morning to the moment you go to bed, and you write everything down, every single thing. You do this for 7 days. You operate from a place of no judgment. You just write down like an observer, like somebody else is watching you and watching your life, and you just see this data is going to change everything, because what you put down on here is your reality right now. You cannot negotiate, you cannot BS yourself. This is what's going on. And then step number 2, you can analyze these results. So what do these results mean for your life? And it might be that you're happy with how things are. That's fantastic. It might be that there's certain things that need to change. It might be that you've recognized there are certain habits, certain people, certain activities, certain beliefs that you prioritize everybody else before yourself. We've got a whole training on that, because if that's what you do, you are not alone. Most of my clients do that. I did that for so many years. Everybody else's priorities were more important than mine. But if you can't breathe, you can't help anybody else. And you can't breathe if you're not prioritizing breathing, because you are so busy prioritizing everybody's everything else. So then step number 3, as I said, is accepting these results. This is where you are. It's no better, it's no worse, it just is. And in the book, we've got 6 archetypes that we talk about to help you to identify some habits, some patterns, some things, some ways that you are acting that perhaps you don't want to. So one of them is the social media junkie. Perhaps you spend a lot of time online, or perhaps you spend a lot of time on social apps, or even apps for work. Perhaps they are just consuming you, checking, and the notifications are going off all day long. Perhaps you're a chatterbox. You just love to chat with people. You love to hear, you love to understand their problems, you love to help them. Perhaps that's you. Perhaps you're a care bear and you're helping people by giving them fish rather than coaching them and teaching them how to fish. So they keep coming back every single day. Can you help with this? Can you help with this? Can you help with this? How do I do this? How do I do this? How do I do that? Perhaps you are a travel bunny. You spend a lot of time traveling. But how are you maximizing that time? Are you using some of that time for yourself? Perhaps you've gone back to the office now and you've got a commute again. So how are you maximizing that commute time? Are you spending some of it working? Are you spending some of it for yourself? Are you spending some of it relaxing? Are you spending some of it planning? How are you making the most of that time so that that time works for you and isn't just wasted dead time? Perhaps you are the Jack or Jackess or Janet of all trades. Perhaps you are just always doing all of the things, and there would be some benefit from asking others for help, asking some others to help you to fix things, to do things, to show you how to improve things. You don't necessarily need to be in charge of them all. One of them might be getting a cleaner. One of them might be getting your shopping delivered rather than going to the supermarket. But your audit will show you where your time is going. And then from that, you can make changes. And then perhaps you're a procrastinator. Perhaps you love just putting things off and doing it at the last minute. So why is that? Maybe you like the adrenaline rush of working to the wire, working to that deadline. Maybe that motivates you. But maybe over time, it's less motivating, it's more stressful, and it's not necessarily who you want to be anymore. So the book talks you through all of this, gives you case studies, strategies, tips, and ways of dealing with all of this. And remember, it's your time. We're not doing this for any other reason than to help you improve your life, be more productive, change what it is that you are doing in order to change what it is that you are getting. So let's talk about our third area. This is all around making your plan. As I said, nothing changes until you take an action. So what actions are you going to take, especially after this training today? In the book, I mentioned that step number 4 is an agreement. So I would encourage you to make an agreement with yourself right now that this is it. Draw a line in the sand. Things are going to change. They are changing. I commit to taking action. And this is what this agreement's all about. Because let's talk a little bit about the 888 formula. Perhaps you've heard me speak about this before. The 888 formula is a holistic approach to time management. It's the simplest way to divide your 24-hour day based on science and society. So science says that we need to sleep between 7 to 9 hours. So we call that 8, because resting is so much more than sleeping. I'll talk about it in a minute. And then society says that we need to be working 8 hours. So then what is left is your life. We call these activities, because in that activities bucket is everything else. It's the jam in the 888 sandwich. So resting is sleeping, it's micro breaks, it's mindfulness, it's meditation, it's something known as restorative rest. In the book, everything that I have written is the result of all the research that I have done, all the courses, all the training, all the books. And in the book, I give you all of the tips, the tools, the strategies, and links to books that I found really, really beneficial. So under rest, under restorative rest, and why we sleep, there are the books and the links to all of those. So then work is your occupation, it's your roles, it's your responsibilities, it's your tasks, it's your activities, it's your support, it's your expertise, which then means that what is left, as I said, is your activities, the jam in your 888 sandwich. So these activities are everything from buying the food, cooking the food, eating the food, cleaning up after the food, buying the clothes, wearing the clothes, washing the clothes, putting the clothes away and starting again. It's your relationships with your family, with your friends, with your siblings, with your significant other. It's your hobbies, it's your exercise. It literally is everything that's not resting and is not working. So the formula, if you look at it overall percentage wise, is 33.3% per pillar. What we're saying here isn't that 888 is what you want your life to be like. It's saying that this is a baseline to recognize what are the fixed things that have to be done that you can't do anything about, like the number of hours that you need to be working, and also the amount of rest that you need to be having. And then what can you change around that? So how can you be more productive at work to get out on time, to get more things done in the time that you have? What do you need to do in order to be able to get the sleep or the rest that you need? What time do you need to be going to bed? So these are the things that we talk about in our other trainings. These are like the next step, the how to do it. So let me show you what my formula was like before I do what I do now. So this is what my formula used to look like when I was in my corporate job. I used to work 16 hours a day, which meant I was able to rest maybe for 5 hours, sometimes less, and perhaps this is the life that you have right now. Because that then meant that I had 3 hours a day left for my life. So in essence, I had no life. And had I not had the stroke that I had, I would have burnt out. Because this is not sustainable. The reason that we need to sleep, and I mentioned that in the book, I talk about other books that I would recommend that you read. So the big one around sleep is called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. In this book, he really goes into what happens when we sleep, what happens to our body, how it regenerates, how it rejuvenates, what happens to our cells. Sleep is a superpower. Now, we used to be told that you could sleep when you're dead. We used to be told that sleep is for weak. Sleep is a weakness. Like, just get your work done. Don't worry about sleep. However, more and more and more research is coming out that sleep impacts our mental health, sleep impacts our physical health, and sleep impacts our ability to be more productive. Because if we don't have enough sleep, we are more emotional. And the more emotional we are, the less able we are to make decisions. When emotion is high, intelligence is low, because we are in our flight and fight state in our body rather than our rest and digest. So my question to you is, what do you think your formula is today? So write this down. Let us know in the comments below this video what your formula is today, and then let us know what you want your formula to be. So what your formula is today and what you want your formula to be. So hit the pause button and let us know in the comments. And then step number 5 of the book is about the action. So after this session, what action are you going to take? So let's come up with 3 things that you want to do. Again, you can let us know in the comments if you want, or keep it to yourself, and or send me a message. I'm going to give you my details in a minute. You can reach out to me on social media. That is my Instagram handle there at Success by Design Training. You can send me a message over there. Let me know what this training has meant for you. Let me know what understanding more about the 888 formula and how to up-level yourself this year has meant for you. Because it's the actions that you take on the information that you learn that will change your life. And finally, when you change the way you look at time, the time you have will change. So what I mean by that is we all have the same 24 hours, but when you start seeing that time as your asset, as your commodity, and then taking action steps from that energy, everything will change in your life. And it will change step by step, day by day. And this is what we talk about in our 25-day reset programs, the groups that we run every month. We encourage the group to set 2 goals that they want to focus on for that month, and only 2, because we overestimate what we can achieve in a month, but we truly underestimate what we can achieve in a month. And by focusing on 2 goals, it really narrows in your vision and your ability to create change, to get results. So again, below this video is a link for you to join the waitlist for the program, because perhaps the program is open, perhaps the program is not. We run them every month, but make sure you're on the wait list so you will always know. And every month for the first couple of weeks when we open the doors, there's the opportunity to get an early bird deal. So again, grab that, check that out. But thank you so much for spending time with me today. As I said, my name is Abigail Barnes from Success by Design Training. You can find out more about us at our website, Success by Design Training. You can also connect with me on social media at Success by Design training. If you've got any questions, send an email to enquiries@Success by Design training. If you would like to talk about working with me, with us as an individual, or working with us as an organisation, then we do team trainings as well as individual programs. And we have programs that, as I said, are 25 days. We also have programs that are 4 months. We have programs that are 6 months, 12 months, all sorts of things. But a great place to get started is investing in a copy of Time Management for Entrepreneurs and Professionals. So thank you so much for your time. It's been absolutely amazing. And I look forward to hearing from you about what you've taken from this training today. See you again